Good afternoon. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182, local to North Alabama, and then worldwide syndicated on Abundance Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And the podcast, don't forget that, Net News Network. .net. So good to be with you today. I have one of my favorite people with us right now, John Merrill. He's a former Alabama Secretary of State, award-winning, I'm telling you, on my end, as far as I'm concerned, and a lot of other folks in the state of Alabama. But John now works with Waggoner Engineering. And so talk with us about your title. Now, your title is Director of Public Policy and Strategic Markets. So what does that mean?
Well, Donna, that means that my job is to help identify communities in our state, counties in our state, municipalities in our state that need assistance in becoming all they can possibly become. So I still continuing with my travels. I've been to 41 counties for 285 visits to those counties since January the 1st of this year, just helping to identify needs and how our firm may be able to help those communities grow and mature and become all they can possibly become.
Absolutely. Well, John, you've always been a servant of the community. And I'll have to say, I was really proud to interview you and be with you with the mayor of Geraldine, Alabama a few weeks ago. Chuck Abels was very impressed.
Chuck is a great guy, and we hope to find a way to work with Geraldine at some point in the near future, working with DeKalb County and other municipalities in DeKalb County. As you know, there's 17 municipalities in DeKalb County, so it's one of the larger counties when it comes to municipal areas in the state of Alabama. But DeKalb County is near and dear to my heart, as you know, and spent a lot of time up there. And Chuck is a dear friend and doing a tremendous job as the mayor up there. And we want all of our rural communities to excel in any way they possibly can, because it's so important for them to provide the kind of services that their residents need and should demand in order for them to be all they can possibly become.
Absolutely. You know, one of those is the internet service. And even though we had a terrible electrical storm, they were right on it right here in DeKalb County. And so we had service. And actually, matter of fact, it's actually better than it was before. I don't know what happened, but something good came out of it.
Oh, that's great. That is great. And, you know, one of the things that's going on across the state right now is the expansion of internet and the expansion of broadband, and what is being done by ADECA and holding the meetings through the Department of Economic and Community Affairs as they move around to all 67 counties, identifying areas of need and concern where internet needs to grow and to expand. And there are a number of vendors all across the state who are looking to find a way to use that as a business model to help those counties, to help those municipalities be able to offer something for their constituents that they have not been able to offer for many years. So the Alabama legislature has actually appropriated a large amount of resources, and the federal government has appropriated some resources in order to allow internet to grow and broadband to expand in the state of Alabama. So our firm wants to help as many clients as we can with that opportunity, but all the municipalities in the county, in the state, and all the counties in the state need to be aware and alert to what the options are so they can take full advantage of this funding right now.
Absolutely. And it's great timing. You know, because of COVID, a lot of us, Phil had a studio built for me on the farm. We're on a farm on 38 acres, right in the middle of absolute nowhere. And so you know how Geraldine is. If you pass through that one red light we have, don't blink your eyes. You're going to miss the town. But it's a great place to live, and it's a great place to run a business. And because of the internet and the great service we have here, I'm able to do that.
And that is tremendous. And it's a blessing to all those people that use you as a primary or secondary news source in their communities, because you keep them informed about things that are going on, not just in North and Northeast Alabama, but throughout the state, throughout our country, and throughout the world.
Well, we're proud to do that. Just glad to be of servant. Absolutely. And then I wanted to mention this because, again, the workforce has changed. A lot of folks are working out of their homes now. And that's why I think you're heading up this where we have internet, where it's all over the country. I know folks who are actually right here in DeKalb County who are working for big companies like, the big box stores, customer service, and they're doing this at home.
Absolutely, they are. And, one of the reasons that this is so important to make sure that it continues to move forward is because healthcare is an area where a lot of rural counties are not able to take full advantage of options that are already available technologically, simply because the power source is there, but the broadband source is not there. So they're not able to transfer records electronically. That could mean life and death, or could mean the difference between determining whether or not a surgery is needed in a particular area at a particular time or not. Mm-hmm. So this will be very helpful to a lot of communities, not just about doing business and doing business at the speed of business as opposed to the speed of government, which we're all so familiar with. But what we want to do is to help them be able to take full advantage of all those opportunities that are currently available.
Well, I'll have to tell you this. I can't seem to get out of school. So through Auburn University, I just got the Master's Gardener's diploma. So I'm really happy to have that. But John, in class, I was the only person in class from Alabama. People are moving in.
Man alive. That's great. But it's also interesting for our people to know how much growth is continuing to take place in Alabama and how excited people are to actually relocate to our state, because they know that the word is getting out and Alabama is a great place to live, to work, and to grow.
Absolutely. And they're seeing it firsthand. The Hatter Cafe, next time you come, Phil and I are going to take you guys to the Hatter Cafe. They're located in Mentone, Alabama. Folks who own that are not from here. And so what happened is they would continually come to Mentone, Alabama on vacations. And when they retired, kind of like Phil, they will never retire. So when they retired, they decided to open up a restaurant. And it's just a cute restaurant, Alice in Wonderland theme.
Oh, that's great.
And they're one of my sponsors. You'll see the little ad up there with a hat, the Hatter Cafe. And so I said, why did you move to Alabama? And they said, because we just loved it. And they loved the atmosphere, the friendly people. They said, you can't meet friendlier people in Alabama.
Well, and I know it's good, but I will tell you, I still miss the log cabin deli up there in Mentone.
Oh, I know. I miss that too. Yes. I do.
It was the first place I ever had a Reuben sandwich and an IBC root beer.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, the Reuben sandwich.
That was a long time ago, but that was a staple there.
That was to die for. But people are moving in by the droves. And I really like the area we are in, even Geraldine, Alabama, because we're right in the vicinity all around. If you want to go to the big town, the big city, you can, because we're really close to Atlanta, Chattanooga, Huntsville, Birmingham, right smack dab in the middle of all of that.
Yes,
that's a selling point.
Did y'all get any of the residual value of the recurrence and reintroduction of the June Jam?
Yes, we did. We most certainly did. And I missed it. I had something else I had to do. Albertville had a big to do that very same day. And oh yeah, definitely. And I think they're going to keep repeating that.
Well, I know that's Randy and Teddy's plan. And I know that they were excited about the prospects of it returning. And of course, it's been a couple of decades since they've had it, but for many, many years, it was one of the most important events in our state and in the South. But it's really good to have it coming back full force.
And a huge crowd. And, this is really good news for the businesses in this area. Folks got to get a little taste of what the food was like here in Alabama. And I think they liked it.
That's right.
Absolutely. So we're going to have to go into a commercial break. And we'll be right back in just a couple of minutes. So everybody hang in there, okay? We're going to be right back. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to limonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Limons you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Limons Mexican Restaurant. Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018. The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462. Good afternoon. My name is Donna, and I am your host of The Edge on IC Radio. You can find us every day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. Central as we ride home with you in the afternoon. You can find us on Abundance Television, which is worldwide, and that is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. We also are worldwide on this podcast, netnewsnetwork.net. By the way, John, I wanted to mention the podcast. For the folks out there who get their feelings hurt really easy, you don't even go there. Okay, there's some fantastic. I'm just glad to be part of it. The fantastic talk show host on netnewsnetwork.net. Very professional, and they really do care about the country. And so you will hear things that you don't want to hear. It might hurt your feelings every once in a while, but then that's okay. We all can grow and learn from that. John Merrill is with me right now. And John was our former Alabama Secretary of State. We want him back. And you did such a great job. And I just wanted to kind of bring folks in who are listening all over the country. A lot of folks know you, Donald Trump, our former president of the United States, and you've been to Mar-a-Lago several times. But I wanted you just to spend a couple, 3 minutes or so on your accomplishments as Alabama Secretary of State, because other governors Secretary of States were asking you to come and speak about the election.
You're very kind to mention that. And we were very fortunate to have a good team that worked extraordinarily hard to make sure that we were able to provide the kind of services that our people expected and that they actually should have demanded related to elections, which includes election administration, voter registration, campaign finance reform, campaign finance review, all the things related to the elections process. And of course, in the area of business and corporations, licensing and trademarking, where we were not any longer moving at the speed of government, but actually moving at the speed of business to offer the services that we were able to provide. And last but not least, removing red tape for international adoptions so that we can make that a seamless transition for those families that were trying to make their family whole. And one of the things that happened in my term in the 8 years that I served as Secretary of State was that we were able to be recognized for the outstanding accomplishments we had produced in the area of elections. And after the 2020 election that was so controversial all across the nation, in the first quarter of 2021, Alabama was recognized as the #1 state in the union for election security, transparency, and accountability. And not just by your uncle and your aunt who thought that you were doing a good job, but by the Conservative Women for Good Government in Washington, D.C., by the University of Southern California in Los Angeles, and by the Heritage Foundation in Washington, D.C. So those three notable entities were talking about how Alabama was the gold standard for elections. And that's one of the reasons why I was invited to go and speak before Congress 3 times. That's one of the reasons why I was invited to other states to go testify before their legislative bodies or before their groups of conservatives that were interested in improving the election and the election process in their state. Anytime you're doing those kinds of things, it makes a difference, and people want to know how they can do more and do better. But I also think it's notable to mention that in the area of business services, not only did we streamline the process where ever since the Office of Secretary of State had been doing this, they were never able to process the business applications the same day they were received. And we did that for 6.5 years after we got it under control, after we had been there for about 1.5 years. And even more important to most people that are watching us today, we were able to save the people of the state of Alabama $3,113,119.95 cash money during the time that I served as secretary. So we're very, very excited about that. And we're very excited about what we were able to do for the people of Alabama, to let them know that we worked for them and we were excited to do so each and every day.
Absolute. And I know it was also a very big team spirit. You know, you always promote teamwork. You always have. And so a few other folks wanted to mention too, is your wife, Cindy, was just right there all by your side for you. And Karen Guthrie, that girl, I'm going to tell you what, she's a workhorse. Well,
she is tremendous, and she's been a tremendous blessing to each and every entity and organization, association that she's ever worked with. And it's really unfortunate for me that I was only able to find her about 4.5 years ago, because prior to that time, we were doing all we could to kind of keep up. And there were a number of people who were in our office who were having a difficult time trying to keep up with me and my schedule and where all I needed to go, what I needed to do, because the demands were so high. But once Karen came, it was all seamless after that. And that's one of the reasons why when I left Montgomery, I had to make sure that Karen went with me, because I needed to make sure we had that same level of efficiency and effectiveness here at Waggoner Engineering, because we want to be the best civil engineering firm in Alabama, and the only way to do that is by having the best people. And so with Karen being a part of this team, we're moving one step closer to being able to accomplish that goal.
Great move there. Perfect move right there. So how are you guys taking the team spirit into Waggoner Engineering?
Well, one of the things that's important in order to be successful in business is you have to listen to the people that you're trying to work for. It's one thing for you to tell them what you're capable of doing. It's one thing for you to identify what their needs are. It's quite another to listen to what they're trying to do and why they're trying to do it. And if you're able to put all of those things together, then successfully you can help them solve their problems, you can help them address their issues, and you can help them move forward as an entity, whether it be a utility, water and sewer board, whether it be a municipality, one of our 464 in the state, or whether it be one of our 67 counties. And that's what we want to continue to try to do as we try to work for all of these folks in Alabama to help them transform their communities.
And so happy you're part of that, because, you know, there was a time in small towns we felt like we were left out, and we don't feel left out any longer. And know how important, just from talking with Chuck Abels, our mayor here in Geraldine, is that the water department, the sewer, all of that stuff plays big into acquiring new businesses into the community.
Well, it does, because you have to have the infrastructure in place in order to move forward, to provide opportunities for those businesses to come and to work in your community. If you don't have roads, bridges, if you don't have water, sewer, power, good schools, a higher quality of life, people are not going to come to your area. They're going to go to another area that already has those things in place. That's one of the reasons why in Tuscaloosa County back in 1993, we were able to secure the Mercedes project, and it did not go to Madison County or Limestone County, but they made the adjustments that were necessary, and that's why they were able to land the Toyota Mazda plant just a few years ago. So we want all of our communities to do all they can to be as successful as they can become.
That's true. And you'll find hard workers in small communities as well. Phil and I are from the Oxford, Alabama area. And so we were living there when the Honda plant came in. And so our Mayor Smith, we were scratching our heads like, why does he want them to go to Lincoln?
That's exactly right, because they're over in Lincoln near Mumford in Talladega County, as opposed to Oxford in Calhoun County proper. But the thing that we have to do, Donna, is we have to start removing those artificial boundaries, whether it be municipal lines or county lines, because people shop where they can get a good deal. People go to work where they can find a job. People go to school where they can gain access. And in order to do that, they will move or they will drive a distance to get where they want to go. And the same thing when it comes to worshiping. I mean, people will go where they find a good church. So you should not look and say, okay, well, that's in Lincoln, that's in Mumford, that's in Talladega County, that's not in Calhoun County. it's not in our municipal limits. We don't want a part of that. Well, there are people that live in Oxford. There are people that live in Anniston. There are people that live in Welborn and White Plains and Alexandria and Sachs and Ohatchee and all of these places that go to work there, just like there's people that live in Cleveland County that go to work there, or Randolph or Tallapoosa. And so we have to understand what's actually happening and why it's important to support those investments.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it was really wise on Mayor Smith's part, because actually there was a huge growth that happened in Oxford. So it did not have to be in Oxford.
That's exactly right. And as long as you understand that and you keep working to promote that, you're going to make a difference as you move forward in promoting your own community.
Absolutely. You know, another big growth area right now is Albertville, Alabama. They're doing pretty good.
Yes, they are. And Marshall County is continuing to grow, and not just Albertville, but Boaz and Gunnersville, and the entire area up there in Arab, as well as Grant. I mean, you can go all across the county and identify all of these areas that are continuing to grow and to mature because the economic investment is beginning to come and people are beginning to move there and see these great communities for what they are.
Oh, and they are too. Mayor Honey is another awesome mayor. He's doing great. I've interviewed him a couple of times. About time to get him back on the show again. He was a little shy the first time he came on. And I said, that's okay. I've talked with John Merrill. And if he puts up with me, I know you can. So anyway, it wound up being a really fun interview. But I like he just loves the area. And you can tell the folks who are elected into a particular town, they love their town.
That's exactly right. And it means a lot for them to be able to show off what they're able to do. And we want them to be able to continue to do that so people will know what's available in their area.
So let's talk to some of the small towns out there who kind of lost hope. You know, a lot of them. I'd love to see Bridgeport grow. I mean, it's a beautiful area, by the way.
Yes, it is. And Stevenson, too. I mean, all of Jackson County is just a great place. And it's not just Scottsboro, you know, it's the entire county. And we want all of those folks in Steele and in Bridgeport and in Stevenson and throughout the county to be able to have hope in what the future is, because Jackson County is the next big area to grow and to expand in Northeast Alabama as you're getting over into Georgia and you're getting over into Tennessee. And so we have to make sure that they're properly prepared with roads and bridges and with education and with all the infrastructure needs that are available to be met in order for them to be able to be successful.
John, talk to us regular folks who are living in these small towns. What do we need to do to encourage growth? You
know, one of the things that has to be considered by people that live in those particular areas is it's not just about what this will mean for me today, but what it will mean for the community in the future, what it will mean for my children, what it will mean for my grandchildren. And so a lot of times people will see, well, there was a plan announcement. So this is an opportunity for me to get rich right now. So I'm going to sell my property, my 1 acre, for $1 million. Well, that may not work. And so you may be surrounded and you may be an island because everybody else actually sold, and then they don't need your property because they've done what they need to do. And so you actually are an island sitting inside a shopping mall area just because you were reluctant and hesitant to sell. And I'm not saying that people need to sell their hard worked property or their long held property, but I am saying we need to look at what the benefit is for the entire future of the area. And obviously your family is very important in that decision-making process, but you also need to think, what is this going to mean for my family in several years if I do or don't do this right now?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Lots of food for thought there. John, we're going to have to call it a day. Thank you so much for being on the show with me today.
Thank you, Don. It's always good to be with you. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Me too. It's always an honor. And thank you so much for watching The Edge on IC Radio. You're a big part of this. And thank you for the request. And John, that's why you're here. Folks wanted to hear from you again. So thank you so much for watching. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and you can also find us on Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget that podcast down there, netsnewsnetwork.net. See you later. Bye, John.
Bye-bye.